Hey, you know what's funny is I went to record the other day and my recording was full. That's a problem. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. It's afternoon now. It's 1 o'clock. Hello, party people. Nice. Josh, you had me getting a little dizzy there. That was good. All right, so we've got a small group here, everybody. Unmute yourself, and we're going to have a fun conversation today. We're going to have a really, really fun conversation. I wore this t-shirt on purpose. If you attended our summit this past year, you knew this was our focus, was staying ready, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is staying ready. Perfect. Just by a show of hands of the people that I can see, or if you want to do your virtual hand, that's cool. How many people attended family reunion or the Keller Williams family reunion? Anybody? Nobody. Okay. All right. Because I'm going to show some slides from that. But before I do that, let's have a talk. Looks like we're going to have an intimate group here about your first quarter. You can put this in the chat or you can unmute yourself. It's totally fine. I don't think it's going to be too loud. Right now, first quarter, because we are March 22nd, right? March 22nd. How would you rate your first quarter? Meaning, towards your goals. 10 is I'm on track with my goals. 1 is what goals? Put it in the chat or just tell me out loud here. Where are you? No judgment with your answer. We got a 5. We got a 5. Can I get a 6? Can I get a 6? I got a 6, 7. Can I get a 7, 8? Can I get a 7, 8? I got a 4. I got a 4. I've always wanted to be an auctioneer. I just never had the opportunity. Okay, so we got 5s, we got 6s, we got 4s. Anybody else? We got a 5 there. Let me open up this chat. A 5, a 6, a 6. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's just open this up for mastermind's sake because we got to stay ready, right? This is just 1 quarter in the books. You're going to see me reference my shirt here a lot today. And I'm going to give you some data from family reunion so we can get even more prepared to stay ready for the remaining 3 quarters. What has slowed you down the first quarter? Open it up. What slowed you down the first quarter to give yourself a 5, 6, or 7?
So for us, we it's not so much that I wasn't hitting the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. The goals have changed quite a bit already.
Okay.
So as I'm kind of taking a step back and focusing on other things, those original goals aren't even really, they're not even really in my vision anymore.
Okay. Got it. So your focus has changed. Josh, is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, very good. We've got Jeff saying moving physically offices, tight inventory, and changing conversion rates. Yep, I would agree with all of that. We're going to talk about that, Jeff. Anybody else? What specifically has slowed you down? Personal stuff, 2 knee, Carrie, 2 knee surgeries? Carrie, where are you? Did you have them replaced?
I did. So I had it planned and I tried to plan around it, but it's just, it's slowing me down a little bit.
Yeah, yes, that would definitely slow someone down. Having both knees replaced. Here's a funny story. I don't know if many of you have seen kite surfing. Has anybody seen kite surfing? Yeah. So I had an agent in one of my offices one time who was learning to kite surf. And he'd go out in Charleston, windy day. It's in Charleston, it can be windy from time to time. And he'd get on these kites and he'd go, and he had this watch that would measure his height. He'd always come in, Adam, I want to get higher. I want to get higher. He had no clue what he was doing. He was catching the wind and it was taking him. Carrying this, a fun story for you. And he comes in, I don't know, let's just call it the next day. He comes in and he was pale as a ghost. I was like, dude, you don't look very good. What happened? He says, I caught air. I got about 15 feet up. I didn't know how to come down. It threw me down. And when I hit, I blew out both ACLs. In one hit, Josh, both gone. At the snap of the water and the board, both were gone, Carrie. And yeah, he was out. Yeah, wild and crazy. So yeah, that put him down too. Anybody else want to share a story? Mine is personal stuff too, taken care of. Sarah, let me see what this says. Taking care of mom, daughter, dog, unexpected loss of friends. Sorry to hear that about the loss of friend. Yes, never going to minimize any of that. That is life. Life definitely happens. Now, is it okay if we're open, honest, and transparent on this call? Can I be direct on this call at 10 today? Yep, we okay with that? We okay with that? For the ones that I can't see, I know you're shaking your head. Yes. Good, thank you. I'm going to give some data from family reunion. I've been in real estate since 2000. Gosh, I started flipping my first home in 2002 in Los Angeles, and I got to ride the wave up. I was like that guy on the kiteboard, and I got to ride the wave down like the guy on the kiteboard, but I did not bust out both of my knees. And I'll tell you why. And it was only because I didn't know what I didn't know at the time, and I kept going forward with what I knew I could control, and that was myself, right? I was staying ready, but again, very, very naively, because I didn't know what we were going into. I didn't have data like I'm getting ready to show you. Before we dive into the data, though, I want to ask, let's be transparent here. How many people are tracking your stuff? How many people are using a 411 weekly? Anybody? Okay. How many people? Okay, Josh, yes. How many people are using what I like to call a one sheet, where you're tracking literally all of your goals? Josh is shaking his head. Yes. Okay. And it's okay if you're not, right? This is why we're doing this group coaching call. You gave me a permission to be a 10. If you're not, it's okay. How many people have vision boards done? Good. Okay, good. Ooh, we got Josh. I didn't know there. Got him. Josh is gonna be perfect here all day today. Now, some people say, Adam, vision boards are airy fairy. Cool. That's your judgment. That's your insecurity there. It's not mine. I keep mine literally. Mine lives on my phone, right? I mean, I do not go anywhere without it right there. There it is, right there. It lives right there. It lives on my back screen. My 411, if I share my screen here, just 2 seconds, let me share. So we've got dual screens going. Here's this one, but I can literally swipe. There's my 411 for the entire year and the next 5 years. It lives. I thought this was kind of fun. I took a picture of the word vacation. Dana and I went on a vacation, so I got to put that right there, but I still did all the personal stuff, right? Now you can see that there's certain things that are not crossed out. Guys, I'm just as human as you guys are, right? And then where's my one sheet live? My one sheet lives right here, right? This is my one sheet that tracks everything. I get to see all my numbers at any one given time. I'm obsessed with net worth calculator, right? I just adding stuff to the asset column here and paying attention to the liabilities. Gang, we are in a time right now that is unique. Okay, how many people have been in the real estate business greater than 5 years? 1, 2, 3. We got 3. Okay, how many people have been in the business for less than 5 years? Okay, got it. 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 people that are raising their hands. We're just in a unique time that we maybe haven't experienced before. I was coaching a team leader the other day, and the team leader said, my units were down. I said, great. How much were your units down by? They said 55%. Wow. There was an office, like a guy at Family Reunion I was talking to in Chicago or New York, I can't remember. 520 agents. Guess how many closings they had in the month of January? 18. 18 closings. So we went back and looked at the roster. The roster showed that 78% of his roster had been in the real estate business less than 3 years. Okay. So what I'm going to share with you today is, gang, we have an opportunity here where we've got to get better in areas that we're not really good at right now. And that is number 1, tracking, number 2, understanding data. Okay, because here I'm only going to show you 2 slides from Family Reunion, and here's the first one. Well, hold on, pause for a second. Did y'all feel a little dip as we ended last year? Anybody feel a little slowdown as we ended last year? Okay. When do you think, and when did that happen? When did the dip start slowing? Does anybody recall what month did it start? Do you remember? I've got some data here to prove anyone's answers. Do you remember what month?
I thought it started May.
October, November, we got a May. What else?
July.
July. Got it. Now I'm going to show you, these are national numbers. Okay, so it might be different, more regional. But let me show this to you. Check this out. So this is home sales, straight out of the vision speech. Right here, 2022. This is 2022 right here. Look at this. Before we go further, 6.5 million homes sold in January. Check that out. That is basically, if you look at this as a tie, 6.7, 6.7, 6.7, we'll call that 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 5th highest in roughly 2 years. That was a banging up. I mean, that was a go get it January. And then look, it just slowly, not slowly, steadily went down every month thereafter. This is what it normally looks like. See the seasonality? Seasonality usually kicks in. See seasonality coming up, slowing down. Seasonality usually kicks in. This was like a cliff. It literally just went like this, straight down. And what they're predicting right now for the first quarter is it roughly being right about 4.3 million, right? Just marginally coming up. This line right here in the middle, this was the average, right around 4 million units closed per month. So if you felt something last year, there it is. That's what you were feeling. Now the question is, are you tracking your data to be able to see something like this? So the whole point, we're staying ready today. That's the whole point of our conversation today, is staying ready. You can't stay ready if you don't know, or if you're not tracking your data. Okay, so I would, the people that have been on in real estate for at least greater than 3 years, go back and look at all your transactional history. Okay, so this would be action item number 1. Go back and track your, did I see a hand go up? Yes, Carrie.
I was going to say, Keller Williams makes it helpful because the reports
Yes.
will show you your transactions by quarter. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Yes, thank you. And that's your culture.
I didn't know that was there.
Right. Yep. If you don't know where your multi-year trends is, go talk to your team leader, go talk to your MCA. If you're with Keller Williams, if you're not with Keller Williams, just go back and look at your closed transactions, wherever you're tracking it, maybe from your office, right? But here's what I want you to do. I do this with every single client. I want to see at least 3 years worth of data that shows if we have a whole being 100%, and we look at the quarters being 25% each, what percentage of your closings happen in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, historically, okay? Get at least 3 years worth of data there. Because here's what's going to happen. Let me tell a story here. This is the national average. If it was snowing outside and we had an inner tube, that would have been a fun hill to go down, right? We don't like that though. Okay, though that's it. What do numbers tell us, guys? What do numbers tell us? A story. Okay, they tell us a story. We can't put judgment, we can't put emotion to these numbers. If you do, stop, because this is just a story, right? Your P&L is just a story of last month. Don't put emotion to it, unless you have a beautiful wife named Dana that needs to, stop buying golden gooses. I'm joking, honey. If you watch this, I'm just kidding. Though your numbers tell a story, okay, and that's what we need to go do. Now, what we get to do is when you have your 3 years worth of data. I have a client in New York. He got smashed in the fourth quarter last year. When I say smashed, 28% was his average fourth quarter. 12% is what he closed. Okay. 28% of his annual year was expected in the fourth quarter based on his historical trends. He closed 12%. It sucked. Okay. This is what tells us, right? This right here, this data. Sorry, I got 2 screens going on here. This data shows us why it sucked for him. First quarter, though, we're talking New York now. New York and the coast, right? They'll hopefully converge in the middle, and this is what we'll feel in a few months. His first quarter right now is on track to be better than his best year ever. He's not doing anything different, right? The market is just rebounding a little bit more in New York than it had maybe in other areas. We need to know our numbers, though. Okay, we need to know our numbers. Let's go back and look at something like this. Let's go to the next one. Home prices. Okay, so our units might have been down, but what was up last year or like the last 2 years? Home prices, right? If we look at this, we look at 2022, Now, let me pause for a second. See the gray line there in the middle? That is your trend line of 4% appreciation, right? If we go from 90 to about 2001, on average, we were averaging about 4% appreciation. It's real estate. And if we then start to look, we start to increase. Now, by about 2002, that's when I flipped my first home. 2003, 2004, I felt invincible. 2005, 2007, and then I bought my last flip property, paid $749,000, had it right back on the market for $815, had 6 offers. Only one was non-contingent. The one that was non-contingent was cash and said, oh, I'm out of here with all these other offers. We wound up selling that puppy for, about $690. Okay, there's 2008. The market started heading south. Now, here's the kicker with that story. That same house 3 years later at the county steps sold for $325. See it going down? Yep. Luckily, it wasn't mine anymore, but see it going down? We got to know our numbers. So there's the trend line of 4%. 4% going up. So if we look at 2022, even at 2022, with this slope here, with this hill, if we had a inner tube and it was snowy, we would have a good ride. We were still up 12%, right? We were still up 12%. So if you had less units last year, we know our GCI might have been higher because the average sales price increased 12% above the trend, okay, above the trend. Now, if we look at the projection for 2023, we're only projecting to go down by about by about 4 points, okay? We'll call them points. But if we still look at that, we're still 8% above where we should be. So look, 357, if we went down all the way to 357,000 as an average sales price nationally, we're still at the 4% appreciation. Okay, that's where it should be. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen. I know in Charleston here in Mount Pleasant where we live, we're not seeing any of that, right? Our inventories are still, excuse the language, we can have fun here though, shit, right? There's nothing there to sell. Just got off a call with a client a couple hours ago and he was beating himself up because there's not enough, right? But what can you control here, right? Let's have a mastermind. What can you control in this market right now? What can you control? Interest rates just went up, by the way. You see that? Interest rates just went up. What can you control in this market? We're having a real conversation. We're staying ready. What can you control?
I think you can control, obviously your attitude, your mindset. And then I think you can also control your, all of your lead generation activities, just staying, continuing to do those things and knowing that, at some point, all of those seeds that you're planting are going to grow.
That's right. Sarah, can you control interest rates?
I wish, but no.
Can you control average sales price?
No.
Not really. Can you control months of inventory? Kind of, not really. You can't control any of this, team. You cannot control any of this. So Sarah, you nailed it. The only thing you can control is this thing between your ears and this thing right here, somewhere right or left of your sternum, right? That's it. Your head and your heart. You can only control those two things. This guy got on our call and I was like, dude, your energy sucks right now. What is going on? So it's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Okay. What else? There's just not enough inventory. There's just not, we're 40% below where we should be. Okay. What else? I don't know. It's just hard. Okay. I said, I'm going to share something with you. An old coach of mine used to always say to me, I'd get on the phone and I'd bitch and complain. I'd be like in this bad mindset. And he'd say, Adam, are you finished? I said, yeah. He said, are you really finished? I said, yeah. He goes, that's what that feels like. Right? So whatever you guys are feeling, that's what that feels like. Okay. Now, again, you gave me permission to be a 10. It doesn't matter. Whatever emotion you're putting towards this as being hard, it doesn't matter because the numbers are telling us what we are going to have to do. And what are we going to have to do? Sarah, I think you nailed it. We're going to have to increase whatever we've been doing. Okay. So the very first thing that I would suggest, does anybody have any strategies right now on increasing their database? What are y'all doing to increase your database right now? Anybody?
I'm trying to at least get them completed. Everyone completed with smart plans and birthdays, all that, making sure everybody has all the info.
Okay, perfect. Love that. Keep going. I'm looking for another slide. I'm going to show you guys. What else are you doing in your database? What are you doing in your database to increase it? Anybody?
I'm getting ready to do, I guess what they call a reverse bold, where you have something that you're like giving away and people have to sign up to get it. So then I would generate more, get more information because people would have to give their name, email, and phone number. So just kind of growing it that way. And then I'm going to work with a couple of local vendors. I'm going to do a coffee sleeve campaign. So my information will be out there, but I'm going to do like coffee talks and things like that at these coffee shops.
Love it. Beautiful. That's a great idea. What else are you doing experientially in your database right now? Because that's what you can control, right? You can control your database. What else? Anybody?
I feel like I have contacts and places that I like Facebook and on Instagram, and they're not in my database. So I'm just trying to remember that those are people I know and get them into my database.
Perfect. Yes. Yep. Anybody else? Okay. So every day, right? If you're to create one new habit this quarter, I would challenge all of you to create 4 new habits this year, 1 a quarter, is to master feeding your database, right? Organize the database, feed the database, communicate with the database, and follow up with the database. You do those 4 things every single day. Okay, now let's go back to my client here. And we're going to make this outside of Stay Ready. We're going to make this the theme. So I told him that's what it feels like. He didn't care. He didn't like that. I didn't care, right? That's not my job, is to make you feel good. My job is to get you moving. I said, here's what I want you to do. So he sent me, I have every single week, his assistant send me his, let me show you, send me his tracker. I'm going to just so you can show it. Heather, but I want you to see this. All right, so let me share my screen. And share. Okay, so this is what she sends me every single week about what he's doing. All right, let's check it out. So these are the daily and these are the monthly tracking. So here we go. This week, 10 contacts, 1 appointment, 8, 6, 9, 1 appointment, 5, 41, 41, 46, 2. Okay. So what are you seeing here with this tracking? What are you seeing?
That he needs to make at least 9 contacts a day to get an appointment.
I would agree with that. What else are you seeing? Anything else? Okay. I would agree. And so I asked him, I said, okay, there's 4 appointments there, right? There's 4 appointments, but really it was just 2. So I asked him about the makeup of those appointments. He said, 1 was a buyer and 1 was a seller. Great. Okay. What happened to the seller? It's under contract. All right, great. So you priced it right. What happened to the seller? I'm sorry, what happened to the buyer? The buyer, when interest rates went up, leased again. So great. Okay. So you lost that in your pipeline, but it's a nurture. So keep it there. That's not wrong. That's going to continue to happen throughout the year. But here's what I told him. And this is what the theme of our call when we end here shortly is, I said, you got to do 1 more. Your conversion rates, you don't know them. You need to do 1 more contact a day. Okay. So he told me that he was going to commit to getting to 20 contacts a day. I said, okay, because we had the same conversation about what can you control. You can't control anything but what you do. So he's going to do 1 extra contact a day starting at 20. So yesterday he did 28 contacts. So he said, so how many do I have to do today? I said, please don't make me do that math. 29. He said, okay, so I have to do 29 today. That's right. Next day you have to do 30. Okay. And we're going to keep going up until you find your conversion rates. Because gang, we don't know conversion rates right now, right? What do we know? We know this. Oh, we're going to come back to this slide here in a second. We know this. We know that this slippery slope went down like that. That's what we know. And we know your deals are not where they need to be. So therefore your conversion rates have to be different. So he's going to do 1 more contact a day until he finds the right conversion rate for himself. Now here was the accountability, right? So every day he has to send me, and this was already happening, but I'll share with you what he does. Every day he sends me is either 3 to 5 things that he will knock out for the day, specific to revenue generation. And so I told him that he has to add the new number, right? So yesterday was 28, today is 29. So on his text to me tomorrow morning, he has to say that he hit 29 contacts. And if he doesn't, that's his committed number. He owes $50 a day that he misses. Now here's the challenge. What else do you have to do? You got nothing else to do, right? Let me rephrase that. You have a life. I understand that, right? But in the business space, as you look at your goals, you look at your tracking, you don't have much to do inside of the business if you don't have clients, if you don't have any listings, right? If you're out there working with buyers, make sure it's time blocked. There's nothing really else to be doing except for increasing his contacts, right? Would y'all agree with that? Okay. All right. So let's go back to this. Sorry, I feel like I'm preaching to everybody right now. I apologize. I'm just fired up about this because here's what I know. I love business. I love real estate agents, and it's hard right now. And I'm right there with you, right? I'm right there with you. But again, it's only hard relative to what we think in our mind, because all we have to do is take more action. Increase your database size. Increase your communication to your database. Does your database know you? Let me ask you that. How does your database know you? Right? What do they think of when they think of you in real estate? How let's put it this way. How many referrals have you received so far in the first quarter? Just you can give me a number. How many referrals from your database have you received this quarter? We got a 3, we got a 0, we got a 2. We got a 2. Nice.
3.
We got a 2. Okay, good. Nice. All right, now, how many people are in your database? We got a 3, we got a 2, we got a 2. We got 200, okay? We got 7, we got 7. That's a great conversion rate, Steve. Two referrals out of 7 people. That's strong. No, I'm kidding. 400, we got a 400. Okay. Steve, how many is that? Is that 700? 700. Okay. 700. All right. So we've got some data, right? We've got data. How many of those are past clients? Just curious. Throw it out there. We got 700, we got 400. So I want to share this. We got 868. Nice job, Jeff. Oop, let me share this screen. I want to show everybody something. Okay. Seller repeat and referrals. Check it out. Top line is 2022. 73% said yes, they would definitely use their agent again and send referrals. 12% said probably. 7% said probably not. Green, 7% said definitely not. And don't know was a very small percent. Okay. So 73% said they would use you again and or send you referrals. All right, so let's just have some fun. So Josh, may I call on you? Perfect. Josh, how many deals did you close last year? How many sellers? 3. Got it. Okay. So 70% of 3 is roughly 1, right? Give or take. Okay, so we know we can get at least one referral. How many buyers did you close last year, Josh? Four. Okay, got it. So we've got a 75% referral here of buyers. This is buyers. Okay, it's about the same data. So that's two. So we can expect 2 referrals from your past clients this year. So Josh, of those past clients, I think that was I think that was, what did you say, 3 and 4, something like that, 7. So of the 7, how many referrals have you received so far in the first quarter from your past clients? None. Excellent. So Josh, can I stay with you for a second? Okay. What is your strategy right now with receiving referrals? What are you doing to those 7 specifically to teach them how to treat you? I believe that was lip reading, and I think
nothing.
Nothing. Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Who else is in the same boat? We're being honest here. Anybody else in the same boat? Okay, so we've got past clients that we're not teaching them how to treat us. Jeff, you kind of did one of these, maybe. What can I ask you what you're doing?
The verbiage we use is that we ask them to, when they have somebody, to call us and give us their information. So we're not relying on them to reach out to us.
That's cool. Nice. And what percentage of the time do they do that?
Not enough.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And again, guys, this
I'm
is
on a
not a
Zoom
finger
call.
pointing. This isn't a blame game, right? This isn't anything. This is just creating awareness. Just with a show of number, or you can even speak it out loud. How many pendings do you have right now? How many pendings does anybody have? Yeah, Jeff's got 5. Nice, solid. We got a 1. Sarah's got a 6. Solid. Excellent. We've got Stacey, was that 3 or was that a 0?
That was a 0.
0. Okay, gotcha. Jeff, Sarah, Josh, do you have a strategy? Let me start this first. When do your clients love you the most?
Right before they close.
Yeah, that's right. When they're under contract, right? It may be a little dicey when they're under contract, but that's when they love you the most, because you either secured their dream home, right? Or you're selling their home, which is under contract, and they're getting to go to their next level of success, whether that bigger house, smaller house, whatever, right? Moving out of state, moving to St. John. If you haven't been to the Caribbean, St. John was nice a couple weeks ago. Okay, now let me ask you this question. During that process, when your clients love you the most, when are you asking them for a referral during that time?
Right after I put them in contract,
Tell me more, Steve.
I ask for referrals as soon as we go in contract, again after the closing, and then about a month later, I check in and ask for referrals again. So,
Gotcha. So Steve, what does the language look like? Walk me through. I'm your client. You just get me under contract. How do you set that expectation?
well, I just talk with them that, hey, referrals are my lifeblood of my business, and basically, a referral from you would mean a lot to me.
Mhm.
And I have a form that I have with a referral group that talks about all the people that could be referrals for me. I don't give these to many clients, but I'm thinking you said something about like, maybe I should be handing this out to those clients, or put this in the mail in a mailer to my clients, what to listen for in a referral for me, so, I try to ask them, do they know anybody right now? The answer is always no, but we'll keep you in mind. But that's why I kind of follow up after a month after they've been in their house to try to see, hey, how's it going with the house, and small talk, and, keep me in mind. So.
Gotcha. Okay, love that. Now let's get a little more intentional and purposeful. I'm going to share with you my system that we used back in Beverly Hills way back in the day. And it was because, let me go back and find this, hold the phone. When we hit, let's use this. When we saw this happening, right? When Beverly Hills and LA just got smashed, I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, we got to become even more creative into our database as we're closing transactions. And this is what we came up with. we found that our data, our clients loved us the most when we were under contract. Sure, it might have been a little hairy, no pun intended. Though at the same time, it was something that worked. And here's how it went. Steve, we're so excited to have you under contract. Steve, you may call me anytime with any questions that you have, Steve, though here's what I want to set an expectation of. We're going to talk every Friday at 12 o'clock. That is going to be your slated time, Steve. And at that time, I'm going to call you and we're going to talk for maybe 15 minutes at the most, but I'm going to give you an update on where we are in the progression of selling your home. Steve, is that okay at 12 o'clock on Friday?
Sounds good.
Yes. Steve, here's what I'm also going to do, because Steve, you're going to be so excited about moving into your new home that I guarantee you're going to be talking about real estate all the time, right?
That's true.
That's true. And what's going to happen is you're going to find one of your friends that also says, oh my gosh, Steve, I've thought about selling my house too. Now, Steve, with your permission, is it okay every Friday at 12, maybe 12, if I ask you who that individual was?
Sure.
Excellent. Steve, I'll call you Friday at 12 o'clock. I just set the expectation, right? I just set the expectation. I think it was, Jeff, was it you that had 6 closings, right? Or 6 pending. Okay. So 6 pending, let's say they all are a month, right? A month of escrow. That's 24 times that Jeff could be asking for a referral. Here's what the script looks like. I call Steve. Steve, hey, it's Friday at 12 o'clock. I want to give you an update on your closing. This is what we found. Clearly, as we talk Monday through Thursday, but I'm going to tell you right now, we've got your inspection report done. We've got your termite scheduled. We've got your roof, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, Steve, who did you run into this week that's also looking to buy or sell? Here's what Steve's going to say. Shoot, I forgot. You're going to say, okay, no big deal, Steve. I'll talk to you next Friday at 12 o'clock. I call Steve next Friday at 12 o'clock. I go through the same script. Steve, who do you know? He's like, there was somebody. I gave him your number and I can't remember. I was at a barbecue and I can't remember, but don't worry, I'll find out for you. Great, no problem, Steve. I'll talk to you next Friday. We're getting closer. Next Friday, it's the third one now. Here's what happens. Steve, it's 12 o'clock. Here's what, Adam, stop. It was Bob Smith. Bob Smith is looking to sell his house and here's his number. Thank you, Steve. Now let me tell you about your property. And then by the 4th time, now they're so used to it because we're getting ready to go to the closing table. They're so excited to tell you more names. But here's what happens after the closing. I don't ask them anymore until they get settled, right? Until they get settled, which is roughly 2 to 3 months. Then I get them right back in the train of teaching them how to treat me. And how am I doing that? I'm inviting them to an experience, right? I'm inviting them to an experience. So if you think about that, we've got 4 lists or 4 closings, 5 closings, whatever it may be. If you do that 4 times per person, you got to set the expectation on the front end. You have that many times to ask for a referral. Okay, pause that conversation. What limiting beliefs popped into your head as I was sharing that example? What limiting beliefs?
Not having the time.
Okay, got it. Not having time. Good one. What else?
Pestering your clients.
Pestering your clients. Love it. Stacey, curious, how long have you been in real estate?
8 years.
8 years. Have you ever had a client say you're pestering them?
No,
Got it. So it'd be fair to say that that's a little bit of a projection, right?
that's why it's a limiting belief.
That's correct. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Who else? What other limiting beliefs popped into your head? Anything? Okay. So I'll challenge you all to do that. Guys, we got to think differently right now because the way that we thought 2-3 years ago to now, we didn't have to think to close real estate transactions, right? Now we've got to get into the game. And the game is, number 1, knowing your numbers. The game number 2 is getting into your database, making sure your database is treating you the way that you expect to be treated. Steve, I don't know how many people in your database of all the years you've been in real estate you've done deals with, but I would challenge the 76 hours, whatever the number was. I would challenge your database with that number, right? If 76% of past clients said that they would refer and use you again, go back and capture all of your people. Guys, we got to do some work right now. Capture all of those people that did and see what percentage of them actually have. And if you're below the national average, there's your opportunity. All right, there's your big opportunity. Okay, so number one is we've got to get into that mindset of working hard. Number two, staying ready. We've got to get into our database and teach our database how to treat us. I jokingly say to my team here at I Love Coaching headquarters that I expect, this is going to be silly. I'm just playing. This is a joke. This is a real joke, kind of. But I want to collect restraining orders this year, right? I want people to say, stop, Adam. Now, I don't mean that in a negative way. I do say it jokingly. But if I'm not top of mind, if the I Love Coaching company is not top of mind to people in my database, when it comes to growth, when it comes to our 3 uniques, which is more opportunity, more community, and more fun, shame on me, not them, right? Same thing here. If your database, if you play the brand game, and here's how the brand game goes. If I say an industry and a brand comes to mind, if I say coffee and you say Starbucks, if I say tennis shoes and you say Nike, if I say real estate and you say Bob Smith versus your name, what does your database say when someone says real estate, right? Get into that database. Okay. And going back to John, oops, I said his name. Going back to my client who is doing one more, I would challenge you all to start tracking your outreach, tracking your contacts, knowing your conversion rates. Because if there's anything that is going to help you right now, it is knowing your data, right? Knowing your data. Let me see if there's something I can share here real quick. These were notes from Ed Milet, which I thought were really good. I'd heard him speak a few times in the past, and I did judge before he jumped up on stage. But he's just going to say the same thing over and over, and he actually did, but he just delivered it so different. But I thought this was really good. It's not a lack of vision, right? So you all don't have a lack of vision of where you're looking to grow to. You have a depth perception problem. I thought that language was so good. And what that means is if the vision is right here, right, it's right in front of us, but yet it feels like it's way over there, it's because we've created habits that make us feel like the vision's far away. So let's go back and audit your daily habits, right? Now, remember, there's a difference between a vision and a goal. The goal is the actual numbers for your business. The vision is the articulatable statement that says to become the most attractive and vibrant real estate office in all of Charleston committed to a model of excellence. And that's a vision statement. The I Love Coaching one is to empower coaches to change 100 million lives by using our real coaching model, relevant, experiential, authentic leadership. Right? That is our vision statement. So if my vision is that, yet it feels so far away, I've got to really inspect my habits. Okay. Love this. We get our standards in life, not our goals. We get our standards, not our goals. That was good. This is right. This is good right now. Your inspiration has to be greater than your urgency. I want to close 100 deals this year. I need to close 100 deals this year. What's your motivation, right? What's your inspiration to do that? And he says you must leverage your love. Right now in hard times, you have to leverage your love. He says your love for your family, your love for your friends, your love for your business, your love for your clients. Do you love your family more than anything you don't want to do? Right? You've sat here now on our call for 46 minutes and you've heard some strategies and ideas and actionable things to do. If your motivation is your family, could be, could not be, your love for them, do you love your family more than you love doing what you don't want to do, right? And a lot of us are going to be like, yeah, I love my family more, so I'm going to go do it. Okay, is there anything else? I like this one right here. What do great people sell? What emotion do they sell? He says, you want to make $100 million? You don't want to make $100 million. You want to make you want what $100 million will make you feel. Right? Think about that one for a second. You want what the money will make you feel. And he says, everyone is chasing an emotion. I would agree with that. We're all chasing an emotion. An emotion for what? An emotion to be happier. He says people want to be happier, and people want to feel happier. And of course, then he goes into Ray Kroc, which we've all heard the example of. He said he was in the happy business, right? You didn't go there and order a kid's meal and just say kids meal. You call it a what? Happy meal, right? Who's going to go create a burger chain and make a clown their mascot? Someone who wants to create happiness, right? So Ray Kroc was in the happy business. Are you in the happy business? Are you helping people become happier in your database? I think that's probably it. Here we go. People who last the longest are the ones who love and are happier more. Your past does not disqualify you, so stop saying it does. And if you only had one more day, what would you do? Right? So he was talking about his dad as he was dying. Okay, I'll stop my preaching for today. What are we hearing? What are we seeing? What are we smelling? What are we tasting here? What are your takeaways? What are your action items?
Increase activity.
Increase activity. So what specific, Stacy, activity do you want to increase?
Personal contact and with my database and ask for referrals.
Love it. Excellent. Excellent. Just curious, Stacy, can I stay with you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Does any of that make you feel uncomfortable to do?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What part about it makes you feel uncomfortable?
I guess feeling like I'm bugging people.
Okay, got it. And just curious, if you were to overcome that thought, what would you have to do?
Probably do it and realize, okay, they don't feel like I'm bugging them.
Mm-hmm. What if you asked them?
Ask them, am I bugging you?
What if you
Oh.
jokingly said, do you mind if I bug you?
Oh,
And have some fun with it, right? And just have some fun with your database. They know you're a fun person, but what if you jokingly said, my real estate business is growing this year and I need your help. I'm going to bug you over the next 12 months. Ha ha. Talk to you soon.
okay.
Right? Now, the idea with that is what? You're setting the expectation. Right? Our limiting beliefs are created through lack of communication and expectation. So when you can set the expectation up front, you're golden. Right? You're a golden. And then if they say you're bugging me, say, I told you I was going to.
Right.
Yeah. So then you almost get permission. Okay, good. Thank you for playing there, Stacey. That was fun. Who else? What else are you guys going to do? What action items are you going to take here? Anybody? Or what ahas or takeaways? We stumped him, Stacy. Anything?
I think ahas are the people are gonna be glad to hear from you.
Yeah.
I've used this line before when I haven't talked to somebody in a long time. Nobody died. I'm just calling to say hello.
I like that one.
That's really good.
So
Mhm. And what do they do there, Steve, when you say that?
they laugh. Well, I wondered why you were calling me. It's like, well, I've been thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. And I need some help with my business. And I think you can help me.
Yep.
Are you willing?
Yeah. And Stacey, just like what we were joking about with the I'm going to bug you, anytime you can create the emotion of laughter, the barriers go down. Right? The barriers go down. So many people have a fear of picking up the phone and simply saying, well, I haven't called that person in 5 years. I don't want to call them now.
Yeah.
use a simple little script like that, you're not bugging them. And actually, they're probably wondering where the hell you went,
I'm
right?
thinking about selling.
Yeah, they're probably wondering where you went. Okay, good. That's good, Steve. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, it is really getting back to the simple basics, knowing that this business is going to take work, right? Knowing this business is going to take work, and you have to treat it as such. Track everything, master your database, master your conversion rates, right? And then track. Go back, look at your quarterly percentages of closings, see what your history is telling you, and then track what you currently are doing. Yeah, Charlie agrees. Cool. Okay, if there's anything I can do for you guys, we'll end here a little bit early. You can reach out to me anytime. Email adam@ilovecoachingco.com. You can text me. I'll put my number here in the chat. Feel free. Always happy to help. Lean anywhere you want to. There we go.
Real quick, slide 4 and 5. Is there any way to get a copy of those or any of that? Where's that stuff at?
Yes, sir. Let's see here.
I can
know what?
send you them, Adam.
Okay, you can send them out. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. Yep. This is a slide deck that they released from family reunion. And I'm sure you'll see it next month or this month or next month with Dana's industry update as well. But yes, Steve, we can send those out to you.
Love to get it. Thank you.
Yep, cool. All right, everybody. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Take
Thanks a
care.
bunch.
Get your tracking.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.